Hi, Bruce. In response to your post, yeah, I did see in the text I guess the international community and UN, their approach would be, um, or their belief that the instability originates from the unstable government and the nature of terrorism. I agree with you. The nature of terrorism is more. There's that ideology that underlies that, and the lack of belief in Christ. However, these are countries with a lot of depraved conditions, and so I think there is some relevance to that, and that's why those countries are a breeding ground for that. And I mean, we could argue that, well, it happens right here in America. We've had cells function and live in Northern Virginia, and that's really close to the nation's capital, but it happens. But it's not as prevalent because we don't have the kind of society that is as desperate as places like Kosovo and Afghanistan. And as far as who should take care of it, I guess I see the U.S. as, historically, they've done a lot, but it's cost us with our economy, and we can't afford to do that anymore. At the same time, footing the bill, or the bulk of it, or calling most of the shots does give us that leverage. But I think it is important to hand over to the UN whatever peacekeeping, humanitarian kind of things that can be handled by them, because we just can't do it all. And but I think if we handle one aspect to get them to handle another, there obviously has to be agreement. So, and they have a different ideological approach than America has had. Now, with this administration, that might be a little bit different. But it seems to me that the best approach in the future would be that it's not that I'm into this whole collectivity, but there has to be a joint effort, because as much as I and maybe some other people might think, hey, if we just don't get involved, it won't come this way, it's just not reasonable. These countries have instability, and it's going to breed, and it's going to affect not just the United States. So we need to pull in all those partners, and it needs to be, I think, in the future, a more balanced approach. And I think for me, as a Christian and American, it makes me think differently of how we engage in modern wars, and I think that'll impact a lot of people. I know years ago I would watch television or read the news and think, gee, we should, not even get involved, or get involved here and there. And this has another element to factor in. Can we afford it? Can we afford to go in and then not only use that military force, but then peacekeeping afterward, and to see it as a comprehensive effort? And I think that really is important, and I think we're getting to the point in society where we're not saying war isn't going to happen, but we're trying to be more realistic in how to deal with it. Also, as far as state building, you were talking about that being a little bit more controversial. Well, yeah, of course. And if we do update their educational systems, approaches like that there's culture conflicts. We may want to see that across the board for children, girls, boys, women, and that might be a conflict with their culture. And I think there's so many more things to think about now, and we can't single-handedly, as a country, change the world, and that's probably what Americans think they can do, but I don't know that that's really all that realistic. But we can certainly impact it, and we have done that, and we've demonstrated that in our young history. At the same time, we've made good impact and bad. So it is important to not run ourselves out at that we're completely depleted and can't do what we think is necessary or what really should be done. At the same time, we can't just start stuff we can't finish. And military action is one thing, but there's people involved, and we have to consider this again as a comprehensive approach, and to try to come to terms with goals that have ends and certain criteria to meet and achieve, and not have an open-ended kind of engagement. Okay, that's it.